Usually when you publish something on the internet, there's a baseline expectation of visibility that works a bit like physical real estate.
Right.
You know, you build a billboard on a busy digital highway, and you fight for that top spot, and you know exactly where it is.
Yeah, you can count the cars driving by,
And
basically.
it's measurable.
It was a very linear equation for the better part of 2 decades. You structure a page, you rank in the top spot, and you get the traffic.
A clean transaction.
Right. A clean transaction between the creator, the search engine, and the user.
But then you step into the reality of online discovery as it stands on this exact date, August 24, 2026, and it looks like someone has completely torn up that highway.
Oh, yeah. Totally bulldozed it.
Yeah, we're looking at a landscape where those traditional billboards are just being bypassed entirely. And if you're the one painting those billboards, it's pretty unsettling.
It's terrifying for a lot of teams.
So, okay, let's unpack this. Our source material for this deep dive is the SEO Daily Technology Report dated August 24, 2026. And our mission here is to decode how the fundamental nature of online discovery has been completely rewritten by AI and what you, our learner listening right now, needs to know to actually stay visible. And the biggest shockwave in this report comes straight from the top of the food chain.
Yeah. The report details a permanent shift in how Google serves information. So as of August 24, 2026, Google AI overviews are the absolute default search experience.
Which is wild.
It is. We're seeing them appear on an estimated 60 to 70% of all searches.
60 to 70%.
That's huge. Yeah, and this isn't just for complex questions anymore. It's informational queries, it's commercial queries. The AI is stepping in before the user ever sees a traditional web page.
Wow.
And the data is very clear. Those classic top 10 blue links that entire industries were built around are seeing massive and irreversible drops in click-through rates.
So people are just getting their answers at the top of the page and bouncing. They have no reason to scroll down.
Don't. But while the old blue links are fading, a completely new traffic source has taken over. Websites that earn a citation inside those AI overviews are seeing massive referral traffic from those tiny cited sources links.
Oh, I see. So the strategic pivot for digital marketing is really profound here. Getting a citation inside an AI overview is vastly more valuable than ranking #1 in the old traditional search results.
Exactly. It's a completely different game now.
It's like trying to be the most visible book on a library shelf, right?
Sure, yeah.
For years, traditional SEO was about having the brightest spine so a patron walking by would just pull you off the shelf.
Right.
But in this new era, that doesn't matter. It's about convincing the AI librarian to actually read your specific quote out loud to the patron who walked in.
That's the perfect way to conceptualize the shift. You're no longer trying to catch a human reader's eye on a results page. You have to feed the machine exactly what it needs to formulate its own answer.
But wait, does this mean traditional websites are essentially becoming just databases for AI? I mean, are we even building pages for human eyes first anymore?
Well, in many ways, the presentation layer for humans matters far less than the data layer for the machines.
Interesting.
The AI doesn't care about your beautiful graphic design. You know, it cares about how easily it can extract the truth from your code.
Right. It just wants the raw data.
Exactly. And what's fascinating here is that the industry hasn't just accepted this passively. A whole new technical standard has emerged specifically to hand feed these AI models.
Okay.
It's called Generative Engine Optimization, or GEO, and it's driven by a new file standard known as the elms.txt file.
Okay, I want to make sure I understand this. If the old robots.txt file was kind of like a bouncer at a club, you know, keeping web crawlers out of the VIP room, is elms.txt basically the club promoter handing the AI a customized menu of exactly what we want it to consume?
That analogy hits the nail on the head. The old robots.txt was entirely defensive. It told search engines where not to go.
Right, keep out.
Exactly. But elms.txt is proactive. It's a file sitting on your server that speaks directly to large language models. It acts as a specialized directory pointing the AI toward your most critical, structured, and citable content.
Oh, wow.
And the adoption rate is staggering. As of August 2026, the report notes that 15 to 20% of major websites have already implemented it.
And the standard is evolving quickly, right? I mean, the 2026 updates to the elms.txt specification added support for structured data hints and content freshness indicators.
Yes, and those freshness indicators are the real breakthrough.
Really?
Yeah, because AI models are notoriously paranoid about hallucinating or serving outdated information.
Right, they don't want to be wrong.
Exactly, they want safety. So if your elms.txt TXT file explicitly flags a piece of content as the absolute most up-to-date information available, you remove the AI's risk.
You give the machine certainty.
Yes, and it rewards you with a citation.
So if you don't have this file, the AI essentially has to rummage through your site, blind, gets frustrated, and just moves on to a competitor who handed it a map.
Exactly. Sites lacking an elms.txt file in August 2026 are actively opting out of AI-driven discovery.
Man. But if elms.txt is feeding these AI models, it's not just feeding Google. I think this is the scariest part for anyone trying to manage a brand's visibility right now. We are living in a multi-engine reality now.
Oh, absolutely. Google's monopoly on discovery has genuinely fractured. Just look at the scale of the user bases for the major discovery engines as of August 24, 2026.
It's huge.
ChatGPT is sitting at 1 billion users.
Oh, 1 billion.
Yeah, and Gemini has 950 million, Perplexity is at 45 million, and Claude is pulling in 18.9 million.
Those numbers are astronomical. So if a brand is still putting all their eggs in the Google basket, they're missing an enormous chunk of the internet.
The report estimates they're missing 30 to 50% of all AI-driven discovery opportunities.
Half of it.
Yeah. If you aren't optimizing for ChatGPT and Perplexity, you're invisible to hundreds of millions of users who never even open a traditional search engine anymore.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. It would be one thing if all these platforms wanted the same type of content, but they don't. The report explicitly highlights that each AI platform has entirely distinct citation algorithms.
Right. They all have different diets.
Exactly.
Because they were built for different core purposes. Perplexity, for example, operates as a real-time research assistant.
Okay.
So its algorithm is heavily biased toward recency and highly citable sources. If a new financial regulation drops this morning, Perplexity wants the freshest, most direct source parsing that data.
Whereas ChatGPT seems to care a lot more about who you are before it trusts you.
Very much so. ChatGPT prioritizes EEAT signals, so experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness.
Right.
It wants to verify the author's credentials before it cites the information.
Interesting.
And then you have Gemini, which leans heavily towards structured, factual content. Gemini wants a clean data table or a meticulously organized schema.
But think about the absolute chaos this creates for marketing teams. If every AI platform wants something completely different, recency versus authority versus structure, aren't modern SEOs just spinning plates while blindfolded?
Yeah, it's a nightmare for them.
I mean, if I'm a listener running a mid-sized e-commerce brand, I'm probably sweating right now. How do I even track if my product is visible across 1 billion ChatGPT users and 45 million Perplexity users at the same time?
Well, you certainly aren't doing it manually anymore. The impossibility of manual tracking has sparked a massive new tracking economy. A whole new category of AI visibility platforms has exploded onto the scene. We're looking at tools like KIME, Otterly AI, Peekaboo AI, and Wellows.
And their entire existence is based on monitoring citations across multiple AI platforms. But how do they actually do that?
They essentially use AI to monitor AI.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, these platforms continuously query ChatGPT, Claude, and Perplexity with thousands of natural language prompts relevant to your industry. They analyze the generative responses to see if your brand was cited, if a competitor was recommended instead, or, and this is crucial, if the AI is hallucinating a negative narrative about your product.
So if I sell running shoes, these tools are asking ChatGPT, what are the best running shoes for bad knees every single day to see if my brand makes the cut?
Precisely. Because multi-engine visibility monitoring is now just as foundational as old-school rank tracking.
And looking at the cost, I mean, KIME is from 149 euros a month. Otterly AI is $29 a month. Peekaboo AI is $50. Wellows is $37. So they're all over the place with pricing, but you have to have one.
You really do.
So if the landscape is this fractured and all these shiny new AI-specific startups are emerging, how does a marketing team actually build a defense? You can't just abandon your legacy tools and buy 5 different new subscriptions.
No, you can't.
What happens to the heavy-hitting SEO platforms that built their empires on the old blue link economy?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, the legacy SEO tech stack hasn't been replaced. It's just armed itself with radar to track AI citations.
Oh, okay.
The major players saw the shift coming and adapted their core architecture. Take Semrush, for instance, which still holds its position as the dominant command center in August 2026.
Right. The report shows they have a 4.5 out of 5 rating on G2 with over 4,000 reviews, so they aren't going anywhere. But how are they actually pivoting?
So they rolled out Semrush 1, which is about $199 a month. It integrates 50 prompt tracking across ChatGPT, Gemini, and Google's AI overviews.
Okay, that's powerful.
But the real mechanism that sets them apart now is their MCP server access.
Wait, let's break that down for those who aren't deep in the back end. What is MCP server access and why does it matter?
Sure, so MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. Think of it like giving your SEO dashboard a VIP backstage pass directly into the AI's brain.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, instead of just scraping the public output, Semrush can communicate seamlessly with the AI environments to pull deeper analytics. They've also enhanced their Copilot features using generative AI to actually interpret that massive influx of data and suggest specific actions to the user. So they aren't just telling you that you lost a citation. The AI is analyzing the data to tell you how to get it back.
Exactly.
That makes total sense. And what about ARIFs? Because they've always been the gold standard for backlink analysis, mapping out who links to who across the web.
Right, and backlinks are still the connective tissue of the web. ARIFs still updates their index every 15 to 30 minutes for top domains. But as of August 2026, their defining feature is the new Brand Radar tool.
And how does Brand Radar differ from traditional mention tracking?
Brand Radar doesn't just look for your name on a web page. It monitors the conversational context of brand mentions across ChatGPT, AI overviews, and Perplexity.
Oh, so it understands the sentiment.
Yes. It uses AI to determine if the citation was positive, negative, or authoritative, and you get 5 prompts included in their $129 a month plan.
That's a huge deal.
Add that to their AI Site Explorer, which automatically flags toxic link patterns, and they have the free webmaster tools too, so they've really solidified their spot as the second pillar of a modern technical stack.
Okay, so Semrush and ARIFs handle the tracking and the strategy. But for the actual content creation side, the report highlights Surfer SEO, which is sitting around $49 a month.
Yeah.
They've got this NLP-driven content editor, and for anyone unfamiliar, NLP is natural language processing. It means the tool isn't just counting how many times you awkwardly stuff a keyword into a paragraph.
Right, no more keyword stuffing.
Exactly. It actually understands the semantic relationships between concepts, much like the search engine itself does.
Which is vital for generative engine optimization. Surfer adapted brilliantly by upgrading their SRP analyzer to include AI overview citation analysis. It quite literally reverse engineers the competitor pages that are currently being cited by the AI.
Meaning it shows you the exact semantic gaps in your content compared to the person who is successfully feeding the AI librarian.
Exactly. It quantifies how well your content is structured for AI extraction through their proprietary content score. But there is a massive catch to all of this content optimization.
Okay, what is it?
None of it matters if the AI crawler trips over your website's underlying code.
Right. Which brings us to the technical foundation and the industry standard desktop crawler Screaming Frog.
Yes, Screaming Frog remains indispensable for technical SEO audits. It's free for 500 URLs or $290 a year for the paid version. And its depth in crawling complex JavaScript rendered sites is just unmatched.
Right.
It roots out crawl errors, duplicate content, and core web vitals issues.
And the 2026 version added AI-powered insights to prioritize those technical issues based on potential traffic impact, which is great. But I want to push back on this a bit.
Sure.
Why is technical perfection so non-negotiable for AI overviews? Because if an AI is so infinitely smart, shouldn't it be able to read a slightly messy web page? I mean, human readers overlook typos and slow loading times all the time.
It's a great question, but the reality is entirely the opposite. It's not about the AI's intelligence, it's about computational economics.
Interesting.
The processing power required to train and run these massive language models is astronomically expensive. Therefore, AI crawlers are relentlessly searching for the path of least resistance.
So parsing a broken, slow website just costs them too much compute power.
Exactly. Core web vitals, things like how fast a page loads or how stable the layout is, aren't just user experience metrics anymore. They are parsing efficiency metrics for the machine.
Wow.
If your site has missing meta tags, rendering errors, or slow server response times, the AI won't struggle through it. It will simply bypass you and extract the answer from a competitor whose digital house is perfectly in order.
So the underlying plumbing of a website has to be absolutely flawless.
Absolutely flawless.
But when you look at all these tools together, it sounds like they are shifting SEO into a completely different gear. We're seeing the rise of AI-first SEO automation platforms. The report literally calls this a transition into a semi-automated production process.
Yeah, the automation wave isn't looming anymore. It's fully operational by August 2026. We are looking at platforms like WriteSonic at $99 a month, Search Atlas also $99, and Gumloop for just $37 a month.
That's so cheap for what it does.
It is. Even Ahrefs has entered the space with Latido, which is $99 a month.
And these tools offer multi-model AI support, right? They integrate GPT, Claude, and Gemini to generate, optimize, and publish SEO content at a massive scale.
They do.
You can essentially build an AI agent workflow that spots a trending topic, researches it, writes a perfectly optimized article, and publishes it without a human ever touching a keyboard.
Yes, but that introduces the most critical tension in the entire August 2026 landscape.
Right.
If everyone has access to these multi-model AI generators and every brand can publish technically flawless content at scale, how does Google prevent a total AI-generated spam apocalypse?
Exactly. If the machine can't tell the difference between a brilliant human writer and an optimized AI agent, the internet just fills up with infinite garbage.
Right.
So what is the antidote?
The antidote is EEAT: experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. We've talked about EAT for years as a vague Google guideline, but the data in the report confirms that as of August 24, 2026, EAT has fully evolved into a hard-ranking signal.
Especially for YMYL topics, right? Your money or your life. If you are publishing anything about finance, health, or legal issues, the AI has to know you are a legitimate human expert.
It's the only way the search engines can protect themselves from liability and useless content. AI overviews now aggressively reward real-world brand signals. We are talking about genuine press mentions, industry citations, author bios with verifiable credentials, and demonstrable subject matter expertise.
So let me get this straight. If a completely unknown startup uses Surfer SEO to build a perfectly optimized page, they might still lose out to a legacy brand with a slightly worse page simply because the legacy brand has a decade of PR behind them.
In the AI overview space, yes. AI systems consistently cite established brand content over unknown entities because they require a chain of trust. They show significantly greater resilience to Google core algorithm updates. That means SEO and public relations are now inseparable disciplines. You can't just hack your way to the top with keywords anymore.
You need actual authority.
Exactly. You need PR tools like BuzzSumo and BrandWatch integrated into your daily SEO strategy to build genuine topical authority off of your website.
But the search engine still needs to somehow connect your real-world PR to your digital content. How does the AI actually know that the expert mentioned in the New York Times is the same expert who wrote the blog post on your site?
That requires strict technical structuring. And it's where entity SEO and schema markup become absolutely vital.
Okay, let's break down schema for the learner listening right now. If I had to use an analogy, schema, or specifically JSON LD, which is the recommended format, is like putting a highly specific digital name tag on every single piece of data on your site.
That's incredibly accurate. Instead of making the AI read a paragraph and guess that John Smith is the author and Acme Corp is the publisher, JSON LD explicitly labels the code. It says, author John Smith, organization Acme Corp.
And the report mentions that FAQ schemas have seen a huge resurgence too. Which is funny because Google stopped showing FAQ snippets in traditional search results a while ago.
They did, but well-structured FAQ content is highly extractable by AI assistants. When you use schema to define an entity clearly, like with the breadcrumbless schemas too, you are handing the AI a conceptual map.
Making it easy for them.
Yes. You are defining people, places, organizations, and concepts so the AI doesn't have to burn compute power guessing.
And there's even a new specification merging these concepts together, right? The report mentions elmsfull.txt.
Yes, elmsfull.txt is a recent extension of the elms.txt standard. It specifically supports structured entity definitions, effectively bridging the gap between traditional schema markup and AI content optimization.
Fascinating.
Tells the AI, here is the content and here's the mathematical proof of the entities involved.
So what does this all mean? When you zoom out, we are looking at this massive, almost comical paradox. On one hand, we are using highly advanced AI automation tools from Semrush, WriteSonic, and Search Atlas to write, analyze, and optimize content at an unprecedented scale.
We are leaning on machines heavier than ever.
But on the exact same hand, we desperately need human PR, real-world credentials, and strict entity structuring, just to prove to the search engine's AI that a real authoritative human is actually behind the screen. We are using machines to write the content, But we need human fingerprints all over the brand to get it cited.
It is a profound irony of the August 2026 landscape. We are essentially using AI to prove our humanity to other AI systems.
Right, that's crazy.
The automation handles the heavy lifting of structure and production, but human oversight, real-world reputation, and strategic direction remain the absolute critical differentiators for quality control. This raises an important question, though, and it's a structural concern based on where the data is pointing as of this date.
I'm glad you brought this up because looking at the reality of August 24, 2026, there was a clear trend line. If AI systems now strictly prefer citing established brands to avoid hallucination, and they heavily prioritize credentialed authors, and they treat EET not just as a preference, but as a hard technical barrier to entry.
The walls to the digital ecosystem have gotten astronomically higher.
Exactly. So the question we want to leave you with is this. Are we approaching a permanently locked-in internet? If the AI librarians we rely on will only cite the most famous, heavily credentialed authors in the room, is it still possible for an independent blogger or a brand new startup to break through that citation ceiling?
Yeah, it's a tough spot.
Or has the era of organic grassroots online discovery officially been overwritten by the machine, turning the internet into a gated community for legacy brands? It is definitely something to think about as you optimize your next page.